So I'm watching the fourth quarter of last night's game between the Patriots and the Jets, and I had a flashback. Before I got into this business as a professional sports handicapper, long before that, I was a sports reporter. But I really cut my teeth by starting in high school by doing play-by-play for high school football, basketball, women's field hockey, women's lacrosse, wrestling. I did it all. Play-by-play. I was probably doing 300 games a year. Nowadays, everybody does that. Hell, nowadays you see high school teams playing on ESPN. But, I'm talking about my first game was like 1979, 1980. Nobody did it back then. But I was fortunate enough to go to a high school. They had a TV studio. More importantly, they had a television station, a cable access station. So we decided, what the hell? We had this big rivalry game on Thanksgiving morning. We would go ahead and we would telecast that game. Of course, it was me. I was the telecast. There was not a color man. There was no instant replay. It was black and white back in those days, guys, because who was going to be able to afford a color camera? It just didn't happen back in that era when nobody was doing it anyway. So I had prepared copious notes the whole week in preparation of the game, interviewed the coaches, blah, blah, blah. I had it all because I knew I had a 3.5-hour game plus pregame, plus postgame, plus halftime, and I had to carry the whole show. It wasn't like I was going to throw to Brent standing next to me and say, hey, you want to, comment on something? I didn't have instant replay. I had no commercial breaks. It was me for 3.5 hours talking. So I start doing the pregame show, and I'm going up to the press box, right? But there was no press box. It was a spotter's box, a little booth, where they also ran the scoreboard clock at the stadium. I was actually on top of the spotter's box. Now I'm like 65 feet above ground, right? Next to me on this small little roof, there's a railing. And there's the cameraman, right? He's filming the game. I'm standing there with the microphone. My other hand's holding onto the railing. I had my notes in my hands, too. Gusty morning, Thanksgiving morning. My God, this wind came along. All of a sudden, there go my notes. Right during the pregame show as I'm speaking. I'm watching the notes fluttering down to the ground 65 feet down. But, I got through the telecast. It was in black and white. The wind definitely played tricks with us that day in terms of the video quality. And yet, when all was said and done, I think the video quality we had back in that day was better than anything I saw in the fourth quarter of last night's game between the Patriots and the Jets. My God, couldn't we have had a mercy killing for that game? Because you knew the Patriots weren't going to come close to cover or the way they were playing last night, and you knew Geno Smith wasn't going to direct the Jets to the straight-up win. So just call it the Jets cover and get the damn game over with. Because at times, you're watching in the fourth quarter last night, and if you watch this game, the rain's coming down on the field, it's kind of humid, it's foggy. You're watching, let's say this is your screen. That's what you're seeing. But in reality, you're only seeing this little part in the middle of it because the rain's coming down, it's all foggy, they were having a hard time focusing. It was almost unwatchable at times last night. It reminded me of the Fog Bowl that the Eagles were involved with who? The Chicago Bears, I think it was, many years ago when Buddy Ryan was coaching. What an awful, awful game. This was not Peyton Manning throwing 7 touchdown passes against the Ravens as the Broncos rallied in the second half a week ago on Thursday. As I mentioned in yesterday's video report, you think the NFL schedule makers were sitting there about 8 months ago going, God, let's have the Jets and the Patriots play in Foxborough on Thursday night. National audience. Everybody's going to watch this game. Who could possibly watch that game last night? Ugh. Anyway, I didn't have any opinion on that game. I told you I thought it was a damn hard game to go with. Instead, I turned to college football, and I was one of the few handicappers here at the site to actually win last night. As I gave you Texas Tech, a 3-point dog, cashing out in a 20-10 win over TCU, a game that didn't come close to going over the total, but then again, it seemed like guys couldn't hold on to the ball when they went into the end zone with touchdowns being called back left and right. Now, I'm exaggerating, of course, but if you watch that game, you know what I mean as well. But hey, no complaints from me because, guys, that was another football winner for me. That was the third straight 5-time college football winner. I think I've won 5 of my last 6 football picks. But I got to tell you, tonight I think the best bet is in baseball. I'll briefly address the game in college football tonight between Boise State and Air Force in just a moment because I know all of you sitting out there in Cincinnati, sitting out there in Tampa, Florida, sitting out there in Kansas City, you are all just fascinated with that Boise Air Force Mountain West Conference game tonight. You just can't wait to see it played. So we'll talk about that, but I've also got a free pick in baseball coming up on a big game that's affecting the AL West between the Rangers and the Oakland A's. But first, guys, before I go any further and even talking about who's hot and who's not, listen, we have had a wonderful relationship with DraftStreet.com here over the past couple of years in football season. This year, we have continued our relationship with them And the first big contest goes this week. You've got until 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday to put together your roster. And remember, with DraftStreet.com, this isn't like your father's fantasy league or rotisserie league where you had to play all season long and the money wasn't divvied up until the end of December. No. This is a weekly contest, guys. You've got until 1 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday to establish your roster, and then after the Monday night game, hey, that's when the winners are announced and the payoffs are made. And keep in mind, this is a $1,000 free entry contest for week number 1. It doesn't cost you jack to enter the contest. $1,000 in prize money is out there. The top 100 finish in the money, with first place worth $100. Remember, with DraftStreet.com in this Fantasy League football contest, you, in essence, become a general manager. You are giving a $100,000 bankroll. And then, with that $100,000, every player in the NFL is designated a value. Peyton Manning, of course, is going to be worth a little more than Geno Smith. You know what I mean? You have $100,000 to spend. You've got to draft 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, a couple wide receivers, etc. You put together your team, $100,000 bankroll, and again, you've got till 1 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday to do so. My advice to you, go ahead, open your account now, create it, start putting together your roster. You don't have to finalize your roster until Sunday by 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and that way you can take advantage of stuff that you are made aware of in the next couple of days. Injury concerns, weather concerns, etc. You don't want to put together your roster at the last minute. It's a free contest, $1,000 free contest, free to enter. Top 100 finish in the money. I play, so you'll see my lineup in there. I already started putting together my team. And $100 to first place, and right down the line, you'll see all the payoffs as well. Once again, click on any of the ads here on the site, and it'll bring you to DraftStreet.com. Put together your roster. And listen, guys, something else for you to be aware of. If you're already playing with DraftStreet, you know they have a 100% sign-up bonus. All the details here on the site as well. If you're already a member and you've been playing, last year it was like 30%. Now it's 100%. We're talking about good money here, guys. And the best thing with this, it's legal. This is not construed as gambling. This is a challenge, a skills challenge. It's 100% legal. To me, it's just as good as gambling. It's better in some regards because you can do it every week, and especially since this week, $1,000 of somebody else's money is up for grabs, and you're playing it for free. Again, top 100, finishing the money. It's the contest with DraftStreet.com. Let me talk about a couple of the promos here today, guys. Brian Rosica has a 65-dime play on Boise and Air Force. Now, he did lose his last play on the Houston Texans, just like everybody and their brother did on Monday night, but still, $10 bettors are up $9,295 since the debut of him on the sites here back on February 5th. You can get his play, the half-price play of the day, simply by using his first name, Brian, B-R-Y-A-N. B-R-Y-A-N. If he doesn't happen to be on the site that you're seeing this video, just remember that all you've got to do is contact customer service and they'll point you in the right direction. It is Friday the 13th. Big effing deal. Listen, you want to save $26 off a single purchase today? You make your own coupon discount? Well, it's Double 13 in honor of Friday the 13th. Double 13, D-O-U-B-L-E, and the number 13. Put it all together. Double 13 will save you $26 off a single purchase today. The $5 play of the day release, turning to Brad Wilton. 69 winner, number 23 out of 32. It's his NL West total of the year. To put it in perspective for you, last night he had a 59 winner like I did on Texas Tech outright as the 3-point home dog, 20-10 over TCU, and this play is stronger. He is on a 14-5-1 totals run. You've gotten 13 of those plays as $5 releases, and $10 bettors are up $7,615 following his betting advice the past 9 weeks. Not too shabby. You're going to get his play today. I think you're going to save like $74 in the process. You get it for $5 simply by using the coupon code WILTON5, W-I-L-T-O-N, and the number 5. And finally, today is also the Charity Play of the Week. In fact, going for Charity Play of the Week winner number 19 out of 27. That's a nice roll to start this 2013 year. Charity Play of the Week is something I created over a year and a half ago where I decided, here my wife and I for many, many years have contributed to numerous charities, from our favorites being St. Jude's Children's Hospital, Make-A-Wish, Special Olympics. But as a handicapper, I've mentioned to you before that my success has come by scouring the internets, using beat writers to be my eyes and ears to cover teams. Well, I'm a newspaper junkie anyway. I'm reading 15 to 20 newspapers online every day. But as I'm, investigating the UTEP Miners, I'm reading the newspaper in Texas, El Paso. I'm looking at the New Mexico State Aggies. I'm reading the paper in New Mexico. Over the years, as I read different newspapers, I come across different situations where I found people in times of need, needing some type of financial assistance, and I would go ahead and send to total strangers donations, not just national charities, total strangers. And I just thought it was a cool thing to do. About a year and a half ago, I thought, well, why not do it here on a larger scale? Why not expand the Charity Play of the Week program and create some goodwill and positive karma? Because together, as gamblers, we've united to create a community of caregivers. You guys have made this so successful. I can't do it without you. And today, the Charity Play of the Week, number 19 out of 27, it's going to be Scott Delaney's 50-dime college total winner number 2 in a row. It's on your Boise Air Force over-under. You're going to get it absolutely free. Now, he hit 50-dime winner number 1 with SMU and Texas Tech over the total back on August 30th. You're going to get his play today for free by using the coupon code Delaney, his last name, Delaney. Now, he's made $10 bettors over $6,000 over the past 9.5 months, okay, in all sports combined. You get the play for free tonight. If it wins tomorrow, I will ask you to make a donation of whatever amount you can afford, whenever you can make it, to a family, a group, an organization, somebody that needs some type of financial assistance in a time of dire need. And if it loses, well, guys, there's no guarantees in gambling, and that's the way it goes. C'est la vie. Again, it's going for Charity Play of the Week winner number 19 out of 27. You've made a fortune for free. I have given away now $3 million worth of action. Retail costs $3 million worth of plays over the past 18 months. But again, it's the donations you guys have made, along with me, that have made this program so successful and so dear to my heart. So anyway, that's the Charity Play of the Week going today. Otherwise, I don't have a hell of a lot to talk about because last night guys either had the Patriots, guys had the over in Texas Tech and SMU. I mean, it just, guys had the over like Anthony Redd did in the Jets-Patriots game. I mean, it just was not one of the great nights here for the bulk of the handicappers. You can see all the results on the home pages as well. Nothing's hidden here. I don't let anybody get away with anything. If we can talk about the winners, we have to be able to talk about the losers. Okay, so let's talk now about your free selection. And the free play is actually going to be in baseball tonight. It's going to be on the game between Texas and Oakland. Listen, the A's, just like last year on another one of those charges, to close the season strong. It was just about 2.5 weeks ago that the A's were 3 back in the race for the AL West title. Now they're 3.5 games up. That's what happens when the Rangers manage to lose 8 out of 10 games. Tonight the Rangers are going with Derek Holland, who has lost his last 2 starts, including a start at Oakland back on September 2nd, part of a 2 losses in 3 game stretch in Oakland by the Rangers. Now, Dan Strelly is going for the A's tonight, and he has pitched extremely well with a 1.50 earned run average and winning his last 3 starts. But here's the thing. Rather than taking the A's as the $1.25 to $1.30 underdog here, I'm going to go ahead and lay it with the Rangers minus $1.30. And true, it is a hunch. But I'm telling you, I would rather bet my hunches than sit there and look at a computer, crunch stats for you. I believe there is something to be said after all the years of doing this that sometimes you just got to go with that gut instinct and go with the team you think's going to win. And that's why I'm going with the Rangers tonight. I know they've been struggling offensively. I know Adrian Beltre has been struggling in the cleanup spot. I know they missed Nelson Cruz. I know the A's just scored 29 runs in taking 2 out of 3 against Minnesota. And I know the Rangers have lost 8 of their last 10. But I like the Rangers to bounce back and take this particular contest. Can't tell you more than that, and that's the bottom line. Now, as for this Boise State Air Force game tonight, seriously? Boise State, they're laying 23.5 points in this one? You tell me which team is going to show up for Boise State. Because I know which team's going to show up for Air Force. This is an Air Force team that beat Colgate in its home opener 38-13, and then Utah State came calling, okay? This is a Utah State team that blew its opener against Utah. Utah State comes into town, demolishes the Falcons 52-20 as an 8-point underdog. Well, now you find Air Force taking on Boise State, right? And Boise State looked horrific. in its opener. Losing to Washington on the road as a 4-point underdog, they were just snuffed out 38-6. But then last week, they won 63-14 against Tennessee Martin. Quick, in case you're on Jeopardy and Alex Trebek hits you with the question, what's the nickname of Tennessee Martin? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Skyhawks. Don't say that I didn't warn you. Tennessee Martin, seriously? What does that tell you about Boise State? Absolutely nothing. I researched this game. If you put a gun to my head and paid me to bet on it, I couldn't pull the trigger. Seriously, I think it's a lousy game. That's my opinion. A lot of handicappers here absolutely love it. I don't know which way to tell you there. Is Boise State that good? You only managed 6 points against Washington. Is the Air Force defense that bad after giving up 173 points to Utah State at home? I don't know. 23.5 points, a big number to lay. Boise, of course, is playing at home, so I probably lean a little toward the favorite in this game. But again, I assure you, I will not bet this game, and I will not watch this game on TV tonight at all. I will instead handicap the Saturday card and look for football winner number 6 out of 7 for you. That'll do it, guys, for today. Best of luck to you all, and I will catch you again on Saturday morning.